EA, like, I saw the EA Santa Monica studio, like the entire game they were working on. This was when I was at Mythic, right after they bought us, and they were like, let me show you the EA way to make a game. And they brought in this binder that was like this thick of just, before any line of code was written, it was just this intensely detailed breakdown of every single thing. And like, that didn't leave room for you to just be like, hey, I think you should be able to dance on the dance floor.
Yeah. Well, because it gives the people who are paying for it, they feel confident. They're like, if we define it from the top down like this, then we know what we're getting. But that actually isn't a process that results in a good game, because games are so the formation of it. We sort of did that on like that's like a philosophy that Chris took when we did Evolve, which it's another little bit of a amazing game and also a mess. But you couldn't make that with a design doc. You could only make it by like sort of chipping away every day and saying like, what's the face under this block of marble.
And not everyone at Troika was like a gamer, but we were people who were passionate about our particular part of games, even if we weren't gamers ourselves, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think Jamie Sue like games a lot, but cares a lot about the the art and craft of the part that she works on. Or maybe she does game now. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think she was, but yeah, she had an artist's eye, and so like the part that she would sort of carve out and do, like she did an amazing job with.
Yeah.
I'd be delighted to. Why don't you come down to my office and we'll talk about it? I'm at the end of Main Street, small basement.
Yes. All right. Well, it is dark enough now that I could feel like I can go to the Ocean House, but part of me really just wants to, put the astrolight on the water heater. I don't think we scripted that. You didn't script that, did you, Brock?
No. I think a lot of this stuff, I think I built the objects, like a lot of the logic for the objects, but then the actual like in-level scripting was done by people like Dave Webb.
Yeah, he's still in the game industry. I'm blanking on where he is, but again, it's a big name.
Yeah,
he's up in Seattle, I think.
Yeah, he was down at Blizzard for a little while, and then he went back to Seattle.
Wait a second. I don't know how I'm this bad at directions. Main Street, small studio. Is that here? No. Must have been the other end. Because we are on Main Street, right? Yeah, there we go. Let's talk to Mr. McGee.
Yes? May I help you? Oh, right. I'll buzz you in.
Hello! Welcome to Gimbel's Prosthetics and Medical Supplies. You are here about the missing Mr. McGee, am I right?
Sorry, I did not hear you over that.
Oh, just the source engine loading screens. There's just something about them.
Yeah, there's. So, have you played this game since it launched?
Not really. I've played like an hour or two of it.
Yeah, I had to just walk away. You know, it was just like the final release was just like so painful, and you know, if I were playing it unpatched, I would just be screaming, "God damn it! I need to go back and fix this."
Oh, yes, forgive me. My name is Gimbal.
Yeah,
So
it's
many-
interesting.
Stanley Gimbal.
I talked to that.
But,
I did an interview
dear,
with that guy
let us
from PC
dispense with
Gamer, and
formalities. You
I kind of
can
had this
call me
light bulb moment
Stan.
where I feel like I have that reaction of like I see like all the promise that wasn't there, and I think that's basically the same fuel inside like the mod community, right? Like for me, that's like a painful memory, but for them, that's like an opportunity or a challenge. They're like, you know, we both see what it could be, and for me, I just hide from it. I'm like, fuck. but they get in there and they make something cool out of it, and that's super dope.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's that gap, because I really, well, I guess this is actually the first time I've been in a position where legally I could work on it, because I'm not working for any actual game studio anymore. You know, lots of contracts about you won't work on other games. But I guess I could come back to it. But, you know, seeing all the things that you wish you could fix and not being able to fix them is just, it's the worst. Working on Warhammer Online was nice just because, like, I could, like, be playing the game and be like, I hate that, and get a patch out, like, the next week. And I'm imagining Evolve was in kind of the same place.
Yeah. I mean, because we had like they were trying to do the games as service model. We could sort of improve it over time, which is nice.
Me? Oh, I'm just trying to make things a little easier for those who find themselves disadvantaged. Giving a helping hand, you might say.
That is a dad joke.
Oh, you mean the arm?
Sure, tell me the story of your arm.
Well, you might say I have a certain love affair with the human anatomy. An obsession. Well, I came to realize that I would never truly reach mastery in prosthetics without knowing what it was like to have to
Oh,
use.
you sick fuck.
And so I decided, quite out of the blue actually, to cut off my own arm. My work, as you can
Totally
well imagine,
forgotten that he
has
was
quite
in this game.
improved since then. Oh, right. Mr. McGee. Well, as I told you, he was supposed to show up a few days ago for a photography session. Reference for my work, that kind of thing.
I'm just catching him on the chat too. He didn't show up.
No, he didn't. Earlier, I had asked him to take a few pictures of himself for my perusal. A sort of resume, you might say. And that was the last I'd heard of him.
So, Astrofire, I would love to get the dev team back together with, like, you know, everything that we have learned since then, and make, you know, maybe a Bloodlines 2, maybe something else, but I don't think doing a remaster of this game would be, you know, like, that would not be the spirit that, like, we brought to making this game in the first place, if that makes sense. Like,
It's interesting, right? Like like we've all sort of grown as game developers, and probably in like kind of different trajectories, and so everybody would have like a very different sort of like aesthetic or like vision for like what would make this good, right? And back when we first made it, like, you know, it was like JD8 and Leonard, and we're all kind of working for them. But now, like, all of those people, like, say, like, TJ, like, he's a design director, like, you know, on major projects now. Like, it's hard for somebody like that to come in and then go back into sort of a role of being like, oh, okay, now I'm like, I'm sort of realizing, you know, somebody else's vision, or they would just passionately feel like, oh, it would actually be a lot better if we did this. And yeah, I don't know if we would actually get it sort of. Yeah, I'd worry like everybody would be trying to make a different game or something.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that wasn't true back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, but I think doing a remaster of this game would not be at all the spirit of that team, even if we did all get back together. And by the way, I just want to say, Brock, you know, I was lead programmer at the time based on like raw programming ability and, you know, and experience and all. I have not worked with you since, but in my mind you had the mindset to be a better team lead than me when your engineering skills grew more, and I'm pretty sure you have been that from all the vibes I get. So you know, I would totally be into you as lead programmer, and I would just code for code's sake if we did put that team back together.
Yeah, that's why companies have like the principal role now, right? Like nowadays, if you're at a game studio, you'd be the principal, you'd be the guy like doing the impossible task nobody else has to do, but you don't have to sit around in meetings or, you know, play camp counselor when two people on the team can't get along and all that other kind of like lead management crap.
But enough about me and Smore.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about. There's some things we won't talk about on stream. But yeah, you're a better camp counselor than me, and you know, 25 years ago, lead engineer was basically biggest dick engineer, and you know, biggest dick is not really the best criteria for team lead. So does the name Carson ring a bell?
Carson? No. I don't think so, anyway. Oh, look. I know I've got some information on Mr. McGee back in my files. Do you want me to try and dig it up? Don't mention it. Just wait here. Oh, you have such beautiful arms. I absolutely must have them.
Thank you. Man, that is like just such an iconic walk. Like now I see it, it's just like, oh yes, that's the Source Engine walk. That is how Source Engine characters in Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 and Vampire navigate doors. I can oh wait.
Oh my god, this was like the first demo I saw when I interviewed it for the job. Like these props were in that. When it was just like a room and the Jeanette model, I think.
Yeah, and also I think we started with you staring at these boxes, and that was like the exact point when Old Man Murray did the time to crate as the measure of how good a game was, and we're like, crap, we have to not start you staring directly at crates. But yeah, as early stuff. So this guy's not creepy at all. Yeah, this is totally normal prosthetic limbs. Oh god. Well, there's blood. Always take the blood.
So I've never thought about this before, but how much of your like metal music sensibilities overlap with Jason Anderson's? Because he's like very much into some of that. But I've got a hunch that like you guys were actually listening to very different stuff.
I would say so. I mean, at the time, I was still like into a lot of like industrial crossover stuff. You know, Cold Wave, Fear Factory, that kind of thing. Because I mean, I was like I say, I was going out to goth clubs, but you know, I was on the industrial floor at the time. Where are we going? I forget what I'm actually supposed to do. Oh, somebody's banging on a door from in here. Somebody's locked up. Man, this guy's basement just keeps going and going.
Huh? Oh, hey, help! You gotta get me out of here, man. This guy's a freaking nut job.
Because, you know, 4-story deep basements is totally a thing in Los Angeles.
Who, Gimbal? Yeah, Gimbal. That guy's been taking pieces off of me and me.
How do I open the door?
What are you doing here?
I totally forgot the prosthetic limb.
Oh, did we ever get that to like do floppy ragdoll stuff? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's floppy ragdolling right now. I want. You're not worth a bullet. And get beaten up with the prosthetic limb. There we go, you old tire iron. Why do I have my gun out? I don't want... controls. There we go. Keeps switching to being a gun. This game is so bugged. How are there so many bugs? F12. Oh my god, am I really back this far? There's no way I'm back this far. Yeah, no, that pulled the quick load. Okay, that's why I came out of there. Down the street. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's review these keys. What was I doing wrong? Oh, F2 is ranged weapons. That's what I just need to quit toggling through. Yep. There we go.
Yes, may I help you?
I remember there was an early build of the game that they did some like usability and focus testing on, and people would kind of play the intro, they'd go talk to Jeanette, and then they wouldn't know how to get up the elevator.
Hello, welcome to Gimbal's Prosthetics and Medical Supplies.
Because a lot of the
You are
interface
here
didn't read
about
very
the-
well. Like,
Oh,
if you
yes,
walked up
forgive
and
me.
hit use on like the elevator button or whatever, it would work.
Yeah,
but
well,
it didn't flash. You didn't get like a use icon, like none of that stuff.
Me?
So they would just wander around forever.
I'm just trying to make things a little easier for those who find themselves... Well... And... No, he didn't. Earlier... Carson? No. Don't mention it. Just wait here a moment. Oh, you have such...
Yeah, Sludge Frog. I don't think they got the prediction system in until, I forget, was that after Half-Life 2 released, or did they have that after Half-Life 1? That like rollback system that Jan
Yeah.
did the paper on or whatever.
Predict it forward and then roll it back. So basically, like, you were inserting people's motions into, like, go back in time, insert people's motions in at the time that the key was pressed, and then play the game state forward.
Okay, yeah.
And we just kind of stomped on that. Alright, I'm going to actually save my game before going in here. And yeah, I am low on blood. I should just eat him.
Huh? Oh, hey, help! You gotta get me out of here, man. This guy's a freaking nut job.
Yeah, I mean, really, the way you do it is you make all your features
Gimbal?
multiplayer,
Yeah,
and then you make a
Gimbal.
single-player
That
game
guy's
out
been
of
taking
that.
pieces off of me and McGee over here for the
That's the
last
way to
3 days. He's
do it
crazy,
without
man. Freaking crazy.
Going crazy. But yeah, going the other way, basically making a single-player game and then trying to like make all those features like multiplayer friendly. It's like you're fighting two battles. It's like you're trying to make a multiplayer game and you're trying to like, you know, win the race with the people making a single-player game at the same time.
How am I pulling the gun out? What am I doing wrong here?
You know, one thing I feel like
Why can't I beat on you? Do I just need to beat you up more?
basic reaction.
How do I do the flashing mesh effect? Yeah, pretty much. Just render the same character twice. And, you know, another, like, really subtle thing was, you know, like, characters have entire mouths and all that. And so so, like, you just render them as transparent and you have the teeth shining through. So the way I did that was put down, like, render the depth, like, render the whole scene, and then for the transparent objects, render all of the transparent objects just to the depth buffer, and then render then alpha blend onto that so that, you know, only the transparent object that was most in front would actually show, so you can see transparent things through transparent things, and you wouldn't have like creepy teeth shining through the mouth.
Huh? Oh, hey, help! You gotta
Alright,
get me
once
out of
more
here,
with
man.
tire
This
iron.
guy's a freaking nut job. Who, Gimbal?
What are you doing here?
Do I have to hit him before I can safely feed on him? I don't remember the mechanic for feeding.
Maybe you can only do it once he's beat up a certain amount.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't remember. I know it's possible to do it. Alright, somebody help me. How do I play my own game?
There's got to be like a console command to like buff your stats or something. Get some experience.
It's cause my brawl feed is 1. Alright, well let's fix that. So how did the physics work? So there was a concept of client-side ragdoll that was just, you know, a set of physics objects, but it was only connected, let's see, brawl. Let's buy some brawl. Why am I doing as a gangrel with no brawl anyway? Oh, gift XP, that's right. You know what, I think in the interest of making this a fun playthrough, you know, nobody wants me to fumble around at shit, so, just have fun.
Yeah, safe mode. I think some of those, like especially the bigger hit reactions, those are all animation driven, and I think we're using in Source, at least in this era, the Source engine, the characters move through the world as a box, but like a box that doesn't rotate. And I think what you're seeing, like when Andrew gets like a hard hit on one of the guys, and he goes does this exaggerated stuntman tumble. The animation is basically pushing that character's box back, and it's like if you think about something like a refrigerator box around one of these guys, like you see the character spinning, moving through the world, but his the box around him is still upright and kind of sliding back, and so that's what keeps him, the animation from totally throwing him out of the world, but they'll still clip into things.
Except one hack I made to the Source engine. There's nothing in the Source engine that's really melee centric, and so I hacked it to make all the character collisions cylinders instead of boxes. They really were. This was before just the standard game dev capsule collision thing was worked out. They really were just literal square boxes that were 2 meters by 1 meter by 1 meter, and so the distance you could get to somebody if you were at 45-degree angle in world space was farther away than if you were at a 90-degree angle to each other in world space, and it made all our melee feel really stupid, because if you attacked somebody from the north, you could get closer than if you attacked them from the northeast. So I changed out the physics in the Source engine just to make that go. All right.
If that was just character to character, or if that was also you against the world?
I think it was just character to character, and we kept the box traces for the world. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, because the box trace is one of the things that it's a real headache for the level designers, because you move around as this big box. They have to do all of this careful sculpting of the collision so you don't get hung up on stuff. And with a capsule or with a cylinder, you can.
Yeah, I was just the main reason I didn't change it for world geometry was just cowardice of I was not sure what I was going to break if I changed out player to world collision in this source engine, so I made it only for character to character.
Who, Gimbal? Yeah, Gimbal. That guy's been taking pieces off of me and McGee over here for the last 3 days. He's crazy.
All right.
What are you doing here?
I'm gonna eat you. Look at him go. Yeah, so I want to eat you. I want to eat you, and I have so much brawl. Fine.
What's Protean? I forget.
Protean is the gangrel claws.
Thanks, man. You're a lifesaver. I wasn't sure I was going to make it. I'm telling you, I've been on some weird cases, but this one takes the cake. Yeah, that's me. How did you know?
God, is that Leon? Is that Leon's voice?
He did? Oh, man, that's solid. I owe that guy big. I hope I can figure out a way to get him back for this.
Why didn't we like these characters better?
I mean, it was good lighting for the era. We just didn't know.
Yeah, I just think, from a placement perspective, I guess we didn't have a way of, maybe people just didn't think about it as much. Part of the problem is at the time, you'd have often one artist doing lots of different things, making textures, building out the map.
Yeah, there was no such thing as lighting artist as a job.
Yeah, and so if you didn't happen to have somebody who was really good at lighting, they were just doing it with sort of the skills they had.
So is there a way to turn visibility, occlusion, frustum culling off? Yes. How do I do it? I don't remember. But I definitely remember doing it.
What? Oh, no, man. No, not for me anymore. Look at my hand. Gimbal took my trigger finger for a trophy. I'm all through with this business. I hate to leave Arthur in a lurch, but that's just the way it is.
I'll go with 3.
Thanks again. Don't worry, I'll take care of old Stumpy here.
Alright. Got my 1 XP. Which totally matters now that I'm like gift XP 200. Oh, glowy thing. Yes. Boing, oing, oing, oing. Saints Row has nothing on this. We were the pioneers, man.
Well, so I'm thinking about the tech that you added to this engine, right? So the cloth, which I'd forgotten about. You did per pixel lighting.
Not here though. It's only like it only goes deep in the per pixel lighting when you go in like the feed camera. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah, right now it's basically you got one. You got, I think, a max of 2 direct lights on the character, and
then light maps for the.
And then like every light beyond like the top 2 directional lights, and you can see like or the top 1 maybe is just getting folded into like. A directional ambient, which now we would call, an SH4, because that's effectively what it was, base ambient plus normal X times a color plus normal Y times a color plus normal Z times a color, which, a fancy way of saying the first 2 levels of, or a very simple way of saying the first 2 levels of a spherical harmonic. So Ocean House? To the Ocean House?
Yeah. Yeah, and then you also, you basically wrote, like, a scriptable particle system, which didn't exist in the source engine at the time, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, like, every single one of the VFX in the source engine at the time was, like, custom C++. And so we wrote something that, like, people could just define with text files. And so I kind of, all credit to Sean Craig. That was his design that he wrote for Temple of Elemental Evil, and I just, reinterpreted, re-implemented that in the source engine, because he wrote a custom, and actually, that resurrected again at City State Entertainment for games that shall not be named.
Crab nipple this and crab nipple that.
Crab nipples. What is the story on crab nipples? I don't remember why crab nipple.
I have no idea.
Do you remember why crab nipple? I bet Miss Soda knows why crab nipple.
Yeah, that's definitely a Mid-Soda joke.
I speak English.
Yeah, I don't speak English either.
No.
Let's see, how do I get back here?
Yeah, Safe Milk, I'm
Lovely
pretty sure that's
evening.
all custom stuff Andrew did.
No, I don't know you.
And,
Sorry, what mode?
The sort of the texture atlasing for the particles.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know, do you remember what I'm supposed to do to actually get back here?
Please, wait your turn and you'll be seen.
Oh, okay. Well, now I have persuasion dialogue items.
All right, go on back.
Lovely evening.
And maybe that's because I have the lily purse.
Please, get a doctor. My insides. It hurts so bad.
Wesp. Is that how I pronounce it? I've never known. Wesp 5. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are the reason anyone still gives a shit about the thing Brock and I made back in the day. And I would say, like, if you would like to be the third person joining in on this stream to talk about it, I will send you a Google Meet. You would be very welcome to talk to. At this point, you've probably spent as many hours working on this game as Brock and I did. Here. So, your choice. I don't mean to pressure you. It is entirely optional. Alright, do you have anything more to say to me at this time?
Can someone call my grandma, please?
Oh. I like that we, took the effort to model her pokey nipples. I'm wondering, was that Justin's fault? Like, the sheer number of, like, dicks that were modeled, even though you couldn't see them, because Justin. Like, it was like, nobody can see it. It's totally covered up by clothes, but god damn it, that dick is in there. Let's do it.
You... Who are you? Oh, what did you do? What did you do to me?
Justin did not work on the Darkness 2, Shannon. Darkness 2, also a game that contains penises that in places the player cannot see.
Yeah, Justin's like Halloween costumes are absolute legend, and I cannot share the pictures of those.
Yeah, who's Dragonbjorn? Is that someone from Troika or someone from Turtle Rock? That I don't know. Yeah. Keeping it on the DL, Brock. I know you know the answer to this.
I actually, I do know. Yeah, he's somebody from Turtle Rock.
Okay. Well, hello, Mr. Dragon Bear. Let's see.
But you did something. I kissed your wrist. I can feel it inside of me. What did you do? What? Doctor! Security!
Really? Lack of gratitude, man. Lack of gratitude. So, somebody who, has actually played this game in the last 20 years, I got multiple new persuade dialogue options. Are some of those,
Please, wait your turn and you'll be seen.
Like, I'm assuming number 1 is just because I just gave myself all the XP. Is number 2 a thing, like, did I have to get persuade for that, or did I get it from getting Lily's purse? I don't know.
All right, go on back.
Please, get a doctor. My insides. It hurts so bad.
Oops.
Can someone call my grandma, please?
Did not mean to beat you with the arm. Sorry, Heather.
The camera system for dialogue is so bad. But like at the time, like I didn't know like any 3D math, so I'm just trying to like well, if I take this Euler angle and this Euler angle and blah 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 blah, and it's so like changed.
Who are you?
Yeah, imagine doing 3D. Imagine doing 3D with the Euler angles now.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, like working in Unreal,
No.
I've been using like I just
something.
use their math library.
I
I'd have to
can
like
feel
go
it.
get a book to like actually write any of this
Fixing
stuff.
me. I kissed your wrist. I feel like I know you.
So dumb fact, Half-Life being Half-Life, there were 4 different patterns for lights, like always on, always off, and like 2 flicker patterns, because it was just, there was so much legacy of Black Mesa being trashed and being filled with broken fluorescence, so that was just like stock built in. And there are 2 light maps here that it's switching on and off in time with like that light, because like every light that is on cadence number 3 is grouped together in an extra set of light maps that gets added in, as I recall.
Yeah, the way that it worked, like there's like I think it's like a text file, maybe it's in code, but like those light patterns is actually just literally a string of like letters, and like A being the lowest and Z being the highest.
I'll be in
or
the
other
bathroom.
thing. And so you can use those to put in like different like flicker patterns.
Yeah, but you don't want too many. You don't want like too many different patterns ever active at the same, ever visible from each other. Computers for grandma.
Yeah, I think there's probably a hard limit. Like number of,
Surgical
like,
forceps are not a
line
toy.
units or
All right,
something.
who put surgical forceps are not a toy in? That sounds like you.
Yeah, it's probably my sense of humor. But also, it's true. It's funny and it's true.
Dr. Business, tell the operator. Dr. Business, tell the operator.
All right, we're finally gonna get Mercurio's Malcolm's office upstairs. F-Dog.
So, my memory of like one of the motivations behind this like email system was, there's going to be like a lot of game development after we did all the VO recording. Like they had to write the VO and get it recorded, but that was basically going to be locked while like big parts of the game still needed to be finished. And so they wanted to have a system in here so that they could do more like exposition or like inter-character interaction after like the video had been recorded. But maybe we had it in before that. Maybe we just had it in as a general way of getting like more interactions in cheaply.
Yeah, I think that was mostly it. Like, just because White Wolf was a thing, computer hacking had to be a system because it was a thing that your. All right, do I have? Like, that just disappeared. It did not. Like, I moused over it and it just disappeared. Who the fuck programmed this game? I did not hit a key to pick it up. It just.
I think I did the use system, so whoops.
I wrote the targeting system. I wrote the thing. See, it just vanished. What the fuck?
What's a football? Well, don't you have a stack of those in your inventory?
So now I have one or two. Oh, okay, yeah, no, it just...
Nurse, I'll be in the bathroom. I'm sorry, sir, but you're going to have to wait outside like everyone else. No exceptions.
Did we do that, or is that functionality added by the mod, the like auto pickup thing?
Wes?
Oh, you know what that is? Maybe that is... Yeah, because isn't that how like ammo, like you're saying that's how ammo works?
Oh, because it's ammo. I just realized like I have you positioned over dialogue in here. I'm going to fix that. I'll move you over there. Now everyone can actually see the dialogue. The hair settling.
What time is it?
All right. Yeah, so it's just stacking. So it's. I was hoping it was a different pill than. Hoping it was a different pill because I was hoping it would be not a stack of my estrogen do not eat. I don't think I actually need to use the computer. I know in my head the information from the computer. Yeah, so... Yeah, now we got one, and... Yeah, now it's two. So I'm assuming that's not the painkillers that need a lockpick. Just locked all the time. I don't know, do I get a key? The doors in here. Maybe I just need to go buy some lockpicks. Does the pawn shop sell lockpicks? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think the email exposition.
Email
if I had to guess, the designers probably viewed it more as functional rather than artistic. Like we put this in to like solve a problem or like move along a quest. But I think the designers all, as much as possible would do the exposition with characterization, VO and all that stuff.
Let's just go by the lockpick. And yes, I did tell Bender to fuck off. I was in a hurry.
What's the hops?
Now I have regrets. Trip. Fortunately, you were right across the street.
Thanks for coming back. What you need?
Have you heard anything about the
It's
serial
freaking
killer?
me out, to be honest. I'm open all night, and Santa Monica police don't rank amongst the nation's most worthy. All right, here's what we got today.
Yes, I would like a lockpick. Now I am broke. You won't buy the severed arm. Tire iron is the worst weapon. I don't care.
Thanks for
I'm gonna
coming
look at
back.
the rest of
What
his
you need?
inventory.
Alright, here's what we got today.
Gold ring. And a totally normal watch. I can't think of any reason not to just sell him. This one. Set up the car stereo. Sell him the totally normal watch. I'm probably like completely blowing some side quest that I've forgotten about. Underdodo. 3 days. Well, you're not. Oh, does it?
Thanks for coming back.
Yes, it does.
What you need?
That's a bug.
Thanks. You new to Santa Monica?
It's not a nice store. You know, make
They
some
call me
chit chat.
Trip. I own this shop. No, not really. Sorry.
All right. Wrong way, Andrew. What are you doing? All right, straight back to. Oops. Straight back to the clinic and pick the lock. Get into the office. Get some painkillers for Mercurio. I am FedEx King.
Dr. Sawdell, the operator, please. Dr. Sawdell, the operator.
I miss Dr. Blair and Dr. J. Hamilton. There was this one audio loop of, you know, sounds of a hospital that got used in like every TV show of the 80s, and then Queensryche used it in Operation Mindcrime, and then it just was run into the ground and nobody could do it again. But that was Dr. Blair, Dr. J. Hamilton. Oh, this wasn't a quest in the original game. I see how it goes. Yeah, alright. Alright, he's the one they call him Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, we just used. My memory is we just used the Source Engine audio system as is. We didn't have anybody on the team with like the idea of like being like an audio programmer was, you know, and having that be your specialist was sort of new to the game industry at the time, and we didn't have anybody here at Troika that did that. We did have somebody do lots of markup, kind of putting like Reaper in different rooms. We might
totally forgot about decorating the rooms for, how echoey they were.
Yeah, we had somebody basically just do all that stuff by hand, which is actually a common practice today, even though it shouldn't be.
Oh, Mr. Marsh. Diagnosis: frequent bouts of sexlexia.
I don't even want to know what that is.
It's the sexiest reading disorder. None of these other names are Troika people, as far as I remember. And I don't think Marbo Paredes is a thing either. This might have been something that, he just put in there. Oh, Heather Pova, I guess, was the one I fixed. And that's just, Santa Monica flavor text. All right, we have to give. Next time either of us actually sees Marsh, we have to give him shit about the sexlexia. Oh, remember the FARC Personals incident?
No.
So, there was there was in the early 2000s, there was this there was this
nice
one
night out, huh?
internet personals network, and all of these websites had the Slate personals, the Yahoo personals, the FARC personals, and they were all actually secretly connected to one shared database. So David Marsh, we were just a bunch of nerdy kids who, gone from hacking in our parents' basement to working in Troika, and and we were working 80-hour weeks a lot of the time, not necessarily going out and meeting people. And so he put a personal ad on one of those, and through whatever horrible luck, David Marsh was FARC.com's personal ad of the day.
Oh, I remember that. And yeah, wouldn't they put your profile picture up there or whatever?
Yeah, and it was just right there on the FARC homepage as their personal ad. And also that network led to some really amusing things when ESPN personals would message somebody from NPR personals and be very surprised that they were not hanging out on the same websites with the values you would ascribe to Slate versus FARC versus I have a friend here in the DC area who actually met somebody that way, and their values were not compatible, and they never would have met if the back end had not been linked together between these very scholarly ones and these eBombs World websites. Hopefully eBombs World did not have personals, because dear God, that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting. So that there's this slim period of time when there was online dating, but before algorithms steered people into sort of homogenized pools, where I guess you just got crazy industry like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Cupid. That was fun, because it was just it put the it just put the algorithms right there in your face, and it was just just here is a whole bunch of graphs and standard deviations, and But ultimately, the real test of it was not like how well did your graphs align. It was the two of you have both chosen to be on the dating website that gives you standard deviations on your compatibility. Bunch of nerds.
Of course, these are things people would want.
But if you were the kind of person who wanted them, you also wanted to meet the kind of person who wanted them. That's
true.
No, there's a dirty Sanchez drink. Oh God, I forgot that.
This is all Jason Manley, I think.
Oh, Manley.
He's a concept artist, but they had him do the textures for these. And he wasn't really a texture artist.
Yeah, again, people's resumes since then, he's heavily involved in concept art. Or again, then Massive Black, the outsourcing company, he's yet another person who went on from Troika to be big.
Yeah, Safe Milk. I made a little tool for Chris Ashton and some of the other artists for the what was it for? I think it was for the text files that you used to for the materials to say oh, I want this texture to be treated like this or whatever. And by default, you just have to do that all in Notepad. And I gave them some kind of basic tools so they could just work with it as artists rather than as people editing some obscure text file.
Oh, and yeah, every time the models would have to be there was to import a model, to turn an export from 3D Max into something the engine could ingest. It was just this one command line tool, and every time Valve would send us a new source drop, the format would break, and we had this one just batch file that would just go rerun that command line against every single model, and it would just be an overnight process. God, I hated that. So many of the things that I've built at other companies are reactions to what was painful with the pre-alpha source engine.
Yeah. Well, you added the distributed light map generation.
Yeah.
Which Valve didn't have even.
But they did. Wait, no. They had VRAD that was distributed light map, and I did NetViz that split up the visibility.
Right.
And honestly, I think if we had been more expert in creating source engine levels, we probably wouldn't have taken NetViz. I don't think Valve, this right here, I can look at it and it'd be this I think was made with brush geometry, which
right.
Valve wouldn't have done. They would have 3D modeled it. And because we built more complicated brush geometry, we ended up with so many degenerate cases with our PVS, and so that is how we ended up in so much trouble with overnight entire office runs of calculating what's visible from where.
Yeah.
You next up for the meeting?
I think you could also
your donation could save a life,
brushes that didn't
but isn't it a little late?
Detail brushes.
Yeah.
I don't think
but
you're
maybe
here
we
to
didn't
give
understand it
blood
very
at
well
all.
or something.
I don't buy it, Jack. I bet you're here to take blood. Am I right? Right down to business. None of this pretend I don't drink blood shit. Very refreshing to find a decisive customer.
Refreshing.
I respect that. So, what'll it be? Employees only. Them's the rules of the Queen Bitch herself.
Who's the Queen Bitch? I'm forgetting who runs it.
Now serving number 75.
Okay.
Number 75.
Yeah, we were definitely going for kind of a sandboxy game. And I think that was kind of from the RPG tradition, of games like Arcanum and Fallout and so on. And, you know, I think a lot of those design sensibilities kind of came into this game, and we're like, okay, well, how close can we get to that? And that's why you can kind of run around and do a lot more stuff, say, like in the city, than you would in maybe other shooters that had come before, like, you know.
Hey, Safe Milk, Studio MDL, are you trying to use Valve's Valve's version from the source toolkit, or do you have Troika's Studio MDL? Because as I recall, I added a bunch of extra fields onto the end of the model format in order to support like the cloth system and like stuff like the gangrel dreads. And if you don't have Troika's Studio MDL, then you're gonna have a bad time. All right, yeah, okay, that explains it. So now you at least have an answer to why you're stuck. I don't know. Maybe there's an old hard drive someplace. You didn't hear it from me, though. I don't know. Like, I'll just... I feel lame for using these options. Like, there's got to be some cool way to get back in here without just having the right character stats, right? Or maybe there is. What do you remember?
No.
No. All right. I'm just gonna.
She did, huh? Queen Bitch told me never to let anyone back there. I remember her repeating it over and over in that cold, pretentious voice of hers. Now serving number 7.
Right. Fine.
This mortality is such a handicap. If we were on a level...
Safe Milk, are you guys able to make map changes? Are you guys able to recompile the maps?
Now serving number 26. Number 26. 26.
That's cool, because I added...
So yeah, there's two different ways through. Lockpicking is also an option. Go ahead, Brock.
Yeah, so I added like a flag or something in the BSP format to do the rain calling. Did you guys like make a version of eBSP that worked with that?
Yeah, so it could rain outside, but not be raining in here. That was how it was all done.
Yeah.
Like, we just basically, could you trace a line straight up, then that cell in the BSP had rain. Well, there's definitely...
Oh god, the physics hand. So that hand is basically a hacked up version of like the physics gun from Half-Life 2.
It absolutely is.
But it's like an
early version, while the physics gun was still very much like getting figured out.
Super janky. So yeah, like we would get source engine drops every once in a while. Like wouldn't they just send us like a giant zip or something?
Yeah. And it would just be like raw, just here's everything, and
including like whatever the state of Half-Life 2 was at the time, which is cool.
We had like all their assets. But then later in the project, we got Activision to pay for Perforce licenses for everybody, and then we could just like sync a P4 repo to theirs, and that at least gave us change logs. So we could, watch how it changed over time. And oh god, visual source safe. Like, remember working with that, where just like the repo got big enough that source safe was falling apart.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, just like the heart, like, God, why can't I remember his name? Really big guy, General Studio Utility person.
Right. Yeah. He was sort of like the.
It's not Scott.
Yeah. Anyways, source safe was the worst.
But he was just like taking that hard drive out in the parking lot and hosing it down because it was on fire. Like every day, just rebuilding it just to keep it going. More cowbell. Oh.
Wes, you know, I don't think we ever touched the file format for the Vizims.
Yeah, no, it's probably just that like the Vizims are at a different offset within the MDL file.
Right.
Because I stuck the cloth at a different place.
Or maybe Valve changed some of that stuff after the last drop we integrated.
Yeah. Alright. I am... Whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing back in here, I don't still have the quest for it.
Yeah, I remember when we got one of the drops, and the first time we saw the physics gun, you could like pick up everything and like kind of fling it around. And then I found you could like stand on a pallet and pick that up and like magic carpet around like the map. I don't think they should have like that.
Keep trying to hit C to crouch. Alright. What am I trying to do in here? I don't want to go upstairs.
Who are you? What are you doing back here? Oh, you here for the special sauce?
The password is Grimace.
Okay, stupid question, Phil. She's in the freezer. Today's code is... Think, Phil. It's, moon landing, 1969. Just Bunsen burner. What am I doing here? Maybe I'd cook up.
Let's just top up while I'm here. Everyone loves randos and... Alright. So which freezer where? Speaking of physics hand. Now I'm just like, wait, was there something behind some of these boxes? Hopefully not. I'm not going to try and move them all. Maybe I can break them. Can't break them. Very, very durable boxes here. I'm not going to try and move them individually. Alright, so... Alright. I did not see the morgue drawers being interactive. I'm just, like, blanking on what it is I'm trying to do here. This really is an I have no memory of this place kind of problem. Somebody help me out. Keep checking the freezer. Alright. Back to the freezers. There we go. Aha! It's Lily.
Hunger. I need it. A drop of it on my tongue.
Hello, Lily.
Sliding down my throat. The hot flash in my brain lighting up my body. I can smell it everywhere. Blood. Let me go. It's painful. Like I'm going to die. It's calling. Never felt like this before. Let me go. I can smell it. I have to have it. Let me go. Anything. Let me go.
I don't think I'll buy a bag of you.
Huh? Oh. Huh?
You don't look well at all.
Oh, sweet mother of God!
Chomp. This reminds me of my cat.
I don't know who the casting director was. But the VO in this game is really good.
Those eyes, man.
It's never been so satisfying. All of it. I drank until I heard his heart stop, and I was sucking on a dry, dead artery.
Your humanity is decreased by 1 point, Lily.
But I've killed him. I've never killed anyone before. What happened? What came over me? What just happened? It's not who I am. I've never done anything like that before. I'm not a monster. I tried to steal some blood. I heard they sold it. I was hungry, and I can't hunt in town. They caught me, and I was trapped. Thought I'd never escape, but I killed a man. I have to get out of here.
And the text rendering is really good. Did you, I forget, did you work on that at all? Like, did you, like, upgrade that from whatever was in source?
I don't remember doing anything. I think it was just, you know, it's pretty sure, okay, first off, Vigui is still, like, a name that is traumatic. Like, the API on, like, Valve's UI was just gross, and now, like, these days I think they just drop in Chromium. But I'm pretty sure the text rendering was ultimately just calling out to the Windows text drawing, and so this is the Windows font renderer, if I'm remembering right. Anyway.
My name is Lily. E? You know E? How do you know E? I tried to tell E about his condition, but he was so furious at me for what I'd made him into, he wouldn't listen. A thin blood, from what I've been told, is a vampire whose blood is weaker than most. Rolf, my sire, told me some vampires consider thin bloods a bad omen and want them destroyed. Rolf wasn't a thin blood, and apparently I am. I don't know why. Rolf abandoned me. His group wouldn't take me in. They said I was a liability. He left me with so many questions. And I did the same thing to E, but I didn't want to leave E. He forced me out of his life. I should go. I have to get out of here. Maybe out of this city. Soon.
Yeah, should I tell him? I can't remember. I cannot remember how it goes. Are there any consequences for, like, for sending her to see E?
E doesn't hate me anymore? I'll go see him.
Who wrote this
Thank
quest
you.
and what's their morality? Is this a Chad?
I think number 2 says that's a Chad quest. No, option 2 right here. That is a Chad line.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I don't have anything to give.
Yeah, this has got to be Chad. Mr. Seymour.
Why'd you have to go and let that bitch out? There's one less Phil in the world now. Why'd you have to let her go and eat him, huh? Now I'll never get to do in that bastard myself. Well, you know what? No blood for you. No more!
Go with the Gangrel answer.
Well, mistakes are made from time to time. Without them, some of us might never have been born. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Have a freebie. My compliments. You need more?
Ooh, blue blood. Nobles taste better. It's true. Alright. I think we pretty much got this covered. Liquid demon seed. It's what plants crave. And like there was, I'm sure, some very good reason. Uh-oh. Oh, it's just outside. There was something important that was hidden behind that that panel that I moved that leads to something, I'm sure. But I'm just not gonna bother with that right now. Let's go down to the beach and see if anything's updated about E. It's got hemolites. Because I know time does not actually pass in this game.
Oh, E, let's run and never look back.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I mean, that's something they did in Fallout and Arcanum.
But yeah, it's pretty much just like, if you know, the flag is set, the flag is set.
There's nothing I can do. I'm damned.
Good luck.
That's cool, Wes. Though, I mean, do the car models have interiors? If they had opaque windows, I assume thered be no interior geometry. Or did he model that out too?
This life's been hard on him, both of us, but he forgives me. We're leaving soon. I have some family with a place out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon.
Oh, it's such a happy ending. Sure, I'll give her her stuff
Thank you.
back. Keep your love alive.
Let's run and never look back.
Let's do ridiculous things to her. Sorry. Sometimes I'm 12. I'm 12 at heart. Okay. Now let's remember how to get to the sewers. Hey, look, sewers. So, yeah, money was me. That was me, and it was not a reference to in-game money. It was a reference to how much money Troika was going to make. It's a multiplier.
Well, it's because Thane kept, like, asking for, like, character revisions, and he wouldn't just come out and say what he wanted. I think it was Thane. But yeah, basically what they were pushing for is like, make the character sexier, or this or that. Wasn't it after, like, a bunch of, like, feedback on that character art that they added that in?
I always get tripped by that. So Thane was also the other person who was routine. Ooh, oh my god, how did I do that? How did I fuck that up? I blame Gary McTaggart. Yeah, so where do I... to Ocean House Hotel. A. You are here. So, make left, make another left, go all...
Yeah. Do we do any big changes to the AI nav system? So, an early version of Source So We Have, the AI was really bad. I think Valve might have, like...
Yeah, you had to manually place all the pathing nodes in the level editor in the first version.
Yeah. I think that was still in there as an option, even when we shipped. Like, I think we used it, like, when I did the werewolf.
Yeah, in the original version of the game, before there were SSDs, the loading was always guaranteed to be long enough that you would get tired of staring at that message, and so we didn't put any like click to finish load, and now loads are so fast you cannot actually read the loading screen tips in their entirety. Nice little moths there. That's a nice touch. Definitely want keys. Oh, and just that, like, there's so many good triggers here. Does the computer can't turn on? Nah, the computer doesn't do anything. Anything in the fridge? Oh wow, the exceedingly old school toilet. Gravity fed. Not a bobcat, it's a hellcat. Of course, now a hellcat seems like something Ashton would own. What's Ashton driving these days?
His like everyday car is a Rivian electric truck. But yeah, he's building like crazy hot rods now.
Yeah, he's consummate car guy. Ah, spooky, so spooky, so spooky. I'm tempted to just turn off all the lights in my living room just so I can get actually jump scared by this game. At this point, I am not remembering where the jump scares are. My wife is giving me looks from across the room. Do you want to see me go, ah? Alright, I'm gonna turn the lights down. Hey, Google, turn off all the lights.
Safe mode. Okay, so the doors are brush-based just because that was kind of default way you would do it in like a Source Engine game at the time. And then I think I added in the doorknobs, or maybe Chris asked me to add that, so that you would have something on the door to interact with. Like we could make just the doorknob glow as like a point of interaction, rather than like the whole door. And then that would key you in as to which doors were actually interactive. And so we added a model for that, like parented to the door.
All right. I am
gosh.
in the darkness, ready for some jump scares. Brock, hold my hand. Hold my hand, Brock.
You need to be like lit from below. Like you need to turn your phone light on or something, so it looks like you're on a ghost hunter shows.
Not quite enough light. Okay, my wife's actually going to get a desk lamp and light it. I think we need to wait for this. Maybe that's what she's doing. She definitely got up and walked away with purpose. So many jump scares in this place.
So
yeah, wait. There was a person there. Now there's not a person there.
This whole thing is basically Jason Anderson, and Jamie Sue did the art, and Jason Anderson kind of did the design and a lot of the scripting. And he really worked on it.
I mean, I think it's generally acknowledged as like the best level design in the game.
You know, and he's doing this while he's like one of the people running the company and like being like, you know, one of the lead designers on the game.
Yeah.
Doing all that stuff too.
Okay, here we go. I just need a way to prop it into place. This is what a supportive marriage is all about. This right here. Can't wedge this into place. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready to do the ocean house. Yeah, just like there's so much lag on this. Oh yeah, that's not really lighting me from below. I need this like, here, just shove this in my shirt or something. Woo! Beard is glowing. Woo! Yeah, I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get it. Alright, she's just gonna sit here and this level's actually pretty long, honey. You might get very tired of this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was some like memory leaks that never got fixed.
Fair enough. This is probably as good a time as any to restart the game.
Yeah, at least we patched some of those. A bunch of them were actually my fault. Like, you know, it was my first job. Didn't know what I was doing, and I did a lot of places where I was like allocating stuff and not doing it. And we like fixed up in it.
Yeah, and C++ had no such thing as shared pointer and unique pointer and all of those, you know, things that automate that and make it hard to not make the mistakes.